Today on Homeworthy, we're stepping into the captivating world of transitional design, where classic and contemporary styles merge effortlessly. First, we'll explore a California home that harmoniously blends East Coast elegance with the laid-back charm of West Coast living. Next, we'll visit a stunning Fort Worth home where bold colors and globally inspired accents take center stage. Finally, we'll tour a Charlotte home that uses color, texture, and pattern to craft smart and energetic living spaces. You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
Hi, Homeworthy. I'm Nancy from sunny California. Welcome to my home. Come on in and let me show you around.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
Hi, I'm Nancy Evers, and welcome to my home in Atherton, California. I live here with my husband Scott and our 3 children, and Raymond, who is pretty much my 4th child. So I moved to Atherton with my husband and 3 children when our kids were pretty young. We moved to this area to be closer to their school and to downtown. And we found this piece of property. The existing home on it was pretty old and just really not our style. Our style has always tended to be a little more East Coast, Nantucket, from New Orleans and the East Coast. So we bought this property and then sort of built our family dream home on it. It's about 6,000 square feet, 4 bedrooms, basement, great room, really important for us to sort of have that indoor-outdoor California style entertaining. We love to entertain, so we have a formal dining room and then a more casual spaces towards the back of the house. I've lived in California for the last 24 years, and there really is kind of a more casual sense of living out here, and so I wanted to make sure that the house was easy for entertaining, both casually and formally. I love hosting holidays, love having dinner parties, but we also spend probably half, if not more, of the year outside in our backyard. So we're in the foyer right now, and you'll see a lot of the rooms in the front of the house are a little bit more formal than the more casual spaces towards the back. But what I love about this room is when you walk in, you're surrounded by some of my favorite pieces of art. And actually during the pandemic, when I had so much time on my hands, I had a little project of adding art on all of the paneled walls, which I love. One of the first pieces of art that I bought when I first started collecting is this Elise Morris painting. She is one of my favorite artists. I have another smaller piece of hers. And then I love brass, so you'll see a lot of brass elements throughout the space, whether it's these fixtures from Waterworks or the handles here. Also, a good friend of mine is a talented painter, Andy Yablonsky, and you'll see her art throughout the house as well. So these are a couple of my favorite pieces. I'm also partial to this piece was one of my daughters painted in art camp when she was younger. You'll see a couple other pieces as well. So right off the foyer is our formal living room, which is not that formal ever since the pandemic when we had to convert it to a home office, which now my husband and I work from every so often ourselves. But it's one of my favorite rooms. I love coming in here. I love sitting in here. I've got grass cloth, and it just warms up the space so much. One of our sofas, you'll see throughout the house. Obviously, a lot of my upholstery is from my own line, but I love green. You'll see green and blue and browns throughout the house quite a bit. But I love coming in here in the evening. I'm actually in this chair almost every evening. Even if my husband's working at the desk, I'm here with my laptop. I also love the space. One of the very first piece of art I ever bought back when I was about 30 years old, I think, is this piece from an art gallery in Seattle. I saw it online, it spoke to me, and it's just made its way to every house, and I love it. I love collecting things like Christopher Spitzmiller lamps and tying it in with some of these more sort of modern. This is the brass coffee table I got off of Cherish, and just little elements here and there. Another favorite piece of art that I love is this woman here. I was DM'd by an art gallery in New Orleans, Claire Elizabeth Gallery, and she sent me a link to this and said, "You look just like this woman," and I actually have a dress almost exactly like that. So I purchased it from her, and we've actually become great friends, and I visit her when I'm in New Orleans now. The architecture of the home tends to be a little bit more traditional, while I focus the decorating more on kind of that transitional style. I have an interior design business and showroom here locally, so a lot of what you'll see here are many of the lines that I represent, that I've curated in the showroom, and they all really work well together. So you'll see a mix of traditional with a little bit more, maybe some edgier art, or some unexpected decor elements, but I really like to mix styles and bring in some older pieces with newer pieces, and as you'll see, I love pattern, I love color. On the other side of the foyer is a pass-through room that takes you to the dining room, and I'll take you over there now. So we incorporated this room partly because I really wanted a butler's pantry off the dining room, and we had to sort of stretch the space between the foyer and the dining room. So it's really just a pretty space. I created this gallery wall with some favorite pieces of mine. Have a nod to the French Quarter with a matchbook from Pat O'Brien's bar, my 3 kids from our trip to Nantucket this summer. And I love this room just from, again, green. I did more of a matte finish in here. I love the round window, which again is sort of my nod to Nantucket, along with the photo of my kids pictured in Nantucket. So I love walking through this room to get to the dining room. So really, this is my favorite room in the house. And I think because it's filled with so many memories of holidays and great dinner parties, and really I think about so many laughs and so much fun around this table. So speaking of the table, it is one of my own designs from Evers Collective. We have a custom table line, and I love a racetrack oval table. And it sort of mimics the round front of the windows in the front of the house. So that was important to me. These are chairs that I found on Cherish, vintage, and redid them. We have a Gracie Studio wallpaper panel here. This wallpaper is just a slightly textured, which I love. Lindsay Edelman light fixture, which again I've had for 11 years and still love it as much today as I did when I first designed the house. And I have a lot of china and glassware, and so between my butler's pantry and the storage here in the dining room, I have a lot of spaces to fill. Much like the rest of my house, which is a lot of layers and color, that's how I approach setting my table for dinner parties a lot. I love layering different plates. They don't have to match. I love a patterned salad plate with a more plain dinner plate, and of course colorful napkins, and runners and tablecloths. These coupes are vintage that I found, and again, I love putting together, I kind of call it my love language. I love hosting friends and family and setting this table and putting in the time and effort to make them feel really at home. So I do that a lot with how I approach setting a table for a holiday or a dinner party. I like to cook myself for most of my dinner parties, and so it's really important to pick dishes that are easy and that can be made ahead of time so that you can sit down with your guests, you're not running around, and really enjoy the company without being in the kitchen the whole time. So you'll see when we get to the kitchen, I have a warming drawer and various ovens, and I really want to make sure everything is made ahead of time before we get to the dining room. When we were designing the house, I really wanted to put a beautiful built-in in the dining room. So when we have Thanksgiving or Christmas, all the food is laid out here, really easy. I worked on the custom cabinetry with this design and the brass pulls and paired it with antique mirror. I love to source from a shop in San Francisco found by Maya. She pulls beautiful pieces from Europe, and these brass circles, I sometimes have candles in them, sometimes have flowers. So again, I love to sort of layer the candlelight and the light throughout the room. So I began my career in PR and marketing in New York City, and lived on the Upper West Side and Greenwich Village, and really sort of always tweaking the apartments that I lived in. I had a 5th floor walk up in the West Village, and it was really the first time I was living by myself, and I had a lot of fun decorating it, but still really passionate about my career in PR. Made my way to Denver after a few years in New York City, and did restaurant and hospitality PR, met my husband in Denver, and we moved to the Bay Area in 2000. Still working in PR, I was at Yahoo for 6 years in PR and marketing and influencer marketing there. And then I was on maternity leave with my second, and we were building our previous home, and just started making decisions on design elements in the house, and really, really enjoyed it, and decided not to go back to Yahoo after my daughter was born, and then started to help friends with redecorating their house, and then decided to launch my own business. So I was about 5 years on my own, and then 10 years with a business partner, Evers and Anderson Interior Design. And then during COVID, just kind of had one of those, aha moments, like pivots, really wanted to go out on my own again, and launched a boutique showroom. So now we're in the butler's pantry, which is really a great transition room between the dining room and the kitchen. And I mentioned I love to collect china and glassware, and so this is where almost everything is stored here. I have my china from when I registered when I got married, and purposely got something that was complementary to what my parents had. So I've made a deal with my siblings that I get that somewhere down the line. So, and I just love pattern and, again, layering different designs, different plates. If something, if I see something and it speaks to me, I buy it, and I love these for Christmas. So I have a lot of fun with my china and glassware, and I love using what I registered for when I got married and then mixing it with some more casual pieces as well. But I never just reserve china for holidays. We use it a lot. So when we first designed the house, this whole room was kind of very plain white cabinetry, white walls, and of course, over time, had to add some more color. So I had everything painted a high gloss, all the cabinetry in this hail navy, and then paired it with CW Stockwell Remy, which is one of my favorite wallpapers that we carry in the showroom. So we did the walls and the ceiling, and it brings me so much joy when I'm in this room and surrounded by the blue and the pattern. What I love most about my home is that, and maybe this is the sort of Southern hospitality roots in me, but I love that people feel comfortable coming in here, that there's nothing too precious, there's nothing too fancy, but it does look pulled together, and it's thoughtful, and I just love having friends over and love having my family here, and my kids are now a little bit older and their friends come here too, and I just love having one of those just really comfortable, easy homes that anyone can come into. So let's head into the kitchen now. So designing a kitchen that was sort of the hub of the house was really important to me, and we purposely put it on the back side of the house because we wanted to really have an indoor-outdoor feel, which you'll see with these windows, these pocket windows, and we're always passing food and drinks back and forth out to the grill, out to the table outside. But and again, I think it's based on my southern roots. You're always showing up to someone's house, an uncle, an aunt, my grandma, and there's a pot of gumbo on, and just anyone walks in the door and there could be a meal made at any time. So, balancing family and work and commitments is a lot. I wish I cooked more than I do, but when I do cook, I love to do it. So I really wanted to make the kitchen really conducive to that. So we have multiple ovens because, again, family, holidays, lots going on. One of my favorite things to cook, especially when it becomes fall and we're a big football family. My son plays football in college. My husband played. We are all about fall, football, family, and chili. So a lot of times you'll see chili on the stove, and we do grill all the time. Again, California, we're outside the majority of the year, so we're always grilling outside. But I would say, especially this time of year, I usually have, on a Sunday, a pot of chili on, and everyone just sort of throughout the day, afternoon, kind of grabs it, and it's pretty casual. I also know that we can be messy. So I went with the Caesar stone countertops and sort of reserved the marble for the walls. I also didn't want a lot of upper cabinets, and so you'll see most of the walls are the tile, and then some open shelving here where we have breakfast bowls and my family gumbo bowls. I mentioned earlier in the dining room that one of my hostess tips is to have the food done ahead of time, and I have to say my go-to for most meals when I'm entertaining is a Barefoot Contessa, and so I'm always reaching for sort of the Bible of her cookbooks. But I love this room. I love how much light it gets. We added a cupola. So instead of like a skylight, again, sort of a nod to Nantucket and the East Coast, and this beautiful Remains lighting fixture as well. Certainly my background in PR and marketing has helped me as an entrepreneur. I am always thinking about new and interesting ways to market the company, marketing my services, and I just think to have that marketing and PR background in any business is almost crucial. You're bootstrapping it a lot when you're starting out and you're starting your own company. So if you have a different skill set besides just decorating, it certainly helps. So why don't I take you outside to the patio? So I have weathered my fair share of East Coast winters. So I'm not gonna lie, 24 years in California, and I love the weather. It will be 89 degrees today. So you can imagine that we are entertaining outside through, early November. So oftentimes we'll choose to eat out here. It's actually warmer in the fall in the Bay Area than in the summer sometimes. So we'll be grilling, we'll be eating out here. The kids will be in the pool. It's really sort of our spot that we are the majority of the time. We love being out here. So if you're looking for my husband, this is where you'll find him 90% of the time. Either falling asleep, having a nap, watching TV, but this is, instead of the typical man cave like in our basement, this is his spot, which of course I join him out here as well, but he's always watching a football game or golf all the time. And really, again, this is an extension of our family room, and I may be inside watching something different than what he's watching out here, but we love being out in this space. And again, we're always back and forth between the house and the back patio. So let me take you to the family room now. So this is really the hub of the house. We are in here all the time. It sort of sits in the middle of the house. You walk in from the foyer, you're here. And so as you can see, and as I've said, lots of blues, lots of greens, but I really love the combination of sort of that chocolatey brown and blue, and really highlighted that in this space. So two of my sofas from my upholstery collection. This is the Lexington sofa. So I love when you're floating furniture in the middle of a room to have some sort of detail in the back, like this paneling. A lot of the lines that I represent are featured in this room. So we've got Casa by PC, and so many of my lines really play well together with each other. So again, CW Stockwell, this floral goes beautifully with Casa by PC stripe and medallion, and the Marika Meyer rug, which I think is a showstopper. So one of my hostessing inspirations is a site, a woman called Mrs. Alice out of the UK, and she has dog beds, a lot of wicker, and you'll see wicker throughout the house. But I just fell in love with this dog bed, and I love the blue with the brown. As you can see, Raymond prefers the CW Stockwell chair, but I get a lot of inspiration from various hostesses and entertainers, and so I love when they have something that works in my space. This is also a room that is just filled with layers. I love collecting, and I have different surfaces, different side tables that I've collected over the years. I've got sort of this desk that I've turned into a little display of some of my favorites, phone that has my phone number from New Jersey growing up, artwork, collectibles, things I found in the Hamptons or by artisanal artists. And I'm always changing the surfaces and the coffee table and the console table, and all these things bring me joy and usually have a story behind them, and I feel really at home and at peace in this room. We've got Elizabeth Geisler, her water series is beautiful. We've got AJ Oshie over here, and then my good friend Andy, who I've referenced earlier, she has the pieces in the stairwell. So if my husband is not out on the patio watching the Golf Channel or football, he's in here making a Moscow Mule. This is also kind of his domain, our bar area. So we did this beautiful sort of taupe marble, and the natural oak built in, we kept sort of natural. So. And yeah, this is where we do a lot of our drink mixing. So as you can see, this really is a great room. We have the family room combined with the bar, with our breakfast nook, obviously leads into the kitchen. And so again, we're here all the time. This is where our family meals are, although with 2 at college, we're down to 3 right now for family meals, but we're here most nights when my daughter's not at practice. And, you know, we like our sports, so we'll be sitting here watching a game, and we really just wanted to make this a place that is really easy flow, easy to, someone could be in the family room, someone can be in here, and it's all sort of all together. For me, coming home and being surrounded by the things I love brings a sense of calm to me. And I'm as social as I am, and I love going to parties and being out. I love coming home. I love being with my family. I love cozying up on the sofa. And for me, being surrounded by beautiful things, things that mean something to me, that look beautiful, is really important to me. So I've always sort of made my own home a priority. So let's pop into our primary bedroom, which we, when we designed the house, we put it on the first floor. All the kids' bedrooms are upstairs, and the guest bedrooms in the basement. And we decided to sort of have our little sanctuary off the main area for ourselves. Welcome to the primary bedroom. This is our bed is something that I designed years ago when I had my design firm, and it's custom. It's attached to the wall with this sort of lilac arrowroot grass cloth wallpaper. Matuk bedding, which you'll find Raymond sleeping here most nights with us. But really, the very best part about this room is my new primary closet, which I just remodeled last year. So let me take you into it. So this is my new-ish primary closet. For about 10 years, we had really almost 2 separate but kind of connected closets, really dark, just not a great use of the space. And so we lived with that for about 10 years. So it was really important to me to create a space that I loved walking in every morning. I get ready at the vanity. I like having everything kind of closed off and just put away. A very clean look. I just went a little bit more subtle in here with my pattern and my color. I did this gray CW Stockwell wallpaper along with the bench seat. I have a vintage light fixture from First Dibs that I bought years ago. The hardware is a friend of mine, Hoffman Hardware. It's this brass hammered hardware. It's so beautiful. So again, everything just kind of has its place and put away. And I went for like grays and sort of a dusty pink in here for my vanity. And then this side of the closet is my favorite. My shoes and my handbags. I wanted these 2 things to be on display because they're some of my favorite items. So I love fashion. I love getting dressed up. I love putting, it's sort of like, you know, design and decor, a great outfit when it's put together, you know, can really just sort of complete everything. So it was important for me to sort of highlight some of the items I've collected over the years. So because I am not quite 5'4", I do like my heels when I go out, and I love these Jimmy Choo platforms. So much so I have them in 3 colors. So I've got black velvet, I have brown suede, and I have this sort of teal velvet. So both of these will be great for the holidays, and I wear these in the fall all the time. So kind of went a little overboard on that, but I do love my shoes. So when fall hits, I go almost all brown in my wardrobe. It's kind of funny. But so I would say the handbags that I'm really carrying all the time is this new Prada that I just got that has a great crossbody strap. I this Bottega I wear all the time, so it's basically paid for itself. Yeah, I just love, I sort of go for all the brown in the fall, sort of black in the winter, and then color and this Bottega gold. I love the Valentino, anything with a little sparkle. My tote bags for when I travel or lugging things between my showrooms. Yeah, I love my handbags. A home has soul when again, it feels lived in, and there's nothing too precious, and you know, you can sink into a sofa, you can pull up a chair, you can throw on the fire and a football game and grab a glass of wine and relax. And so all those pieces sort of add up to the soul. But the most important thing, honestly, is being surrounded by your family and creating this home that, again, I have kids in college now, that I want them to come home to, and I want them to feel like this is their favorite place to come back to. Let's pop into the master bathroom really quick. So with our primary bathroom getting so much light, I really wanted to focus on materiality in here, and the herringbone marble Carrara floors, the Carrara top, and then the custom detail on the cabinetry. Again, similar to my closet, I like to have everything sort of closed in there. There's drawers inside and lots of things stored away. But I love opening the door to the side yard in here when I'm getting ready, and just have that natural light. So I knew when I designed this bathroom that a key to my happy marriage would be having separate vanities and separate sinks. My husband is a minimalist and I'm a maximalist, so even the inside of his vanity looks very different than mine. So that was really important, and I recommend that for any happy marriage. So home to me is family through and through, and holidays, and you know, football games, and relaxing, and just all being together. That is what home means to me.
Hey Homeworthy, I'm Tiffany in Fort Worth, Texas. Welcome to my home. Come on in.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
I'm Tiffany Blackman, and I am a social media content creator and influencer, podcast host, and chef. I am a mom, I am a wife, and a fur mama. I changed careers quickly in 2020 when we couldn't do television and live performances, and I absolutely adore this chapter of my life in this career. We are in Fort Worth, Texas, right outside Dallas. This home I fell in love with when I walked inside the home, because the outside of the home was very different from what you're seeing today. There were so many options to decorate and to make this our home. When I walked in, I just knew that this was the home. It's very globally inspired. The view of the golf course and Colonial Country Club is absolutely stunning. We are on a busy street, but that's okay, because we just make this home so fabulous. We had a lot of nips and tucks to do to this home. We did, over the years, remodel and make it our own, and in my opinion has one of the best curb appeals in Fort Worth. So welcome to my entryway. I love color, we love color, and you can see by the rug that's underneath my feet here. This is an Adam Hunter, and from the rug company, and we designed this. We selected every single color in the rug and tried to make the neutral that wouldn't show trackings as much, but we love it. So speaking of color, I carried on my favorite color, which is Tiffany blue, on this Christopher Guy sofa. We custom made this, and I love the texture and again, the color. If you look closely, it's a nice silky feel, a lot of cushion. I don't sit on this on the usual. I just love how it's sort of a pebble feeling with the beautiful, beautiful high polish of the silver. I've just draped a faux fox fur right across this beautiful sofa, which brings me to this piece, which needed something to just bring this silver throughout this area. This was an antique. We just found it at some random antique shop, but we had it painted silver and then added this great object. LaToya Jones is a fabulous artist in Dallas. I love all of her things. She has so many wonderful mixed media with a high shine with the lacquer, and then she used geodes and stones from the earth, so a little bit of black, and art is very personal. I love this because I see so many colors and it doesn't limit me with colors in this room. But I needed a piece of art here. This is Hannah Lane. It came from B Street Gallery in Dallas, and they just know what I love. I love all the color. It reminds me of our travels in Cabo. We have a home in Cabo that we absolutely love, and the color is all there. But again, goes throughout this entire area. I have to show you above here, I am obsessed with the light. This is Waterford, if you're familiar with Waterford crystal. This is absolutely amazing. So many tiny little crystals. Is it difficult to clean? No, it's actually not. We actually just run a Swiffer throughout here, and we love the linen around, so it just shines beautiful light throughout the entryway. Let me show you the area that we needed something very functional. So in this area that was kind of just a box, the powder room is to my left, and this, I just wanted more color, and of course we have it here with this beautiful mirror, so that's functional. But I needed a catch-all for keys, house keys, car keys, you know, key fobs, and so on and so forth. And we added this all to this beautiful acrylic table. The blue is an ocean blue. I tried to bring in the blue from the sofa that in the entry, and we did so. So this is acrylic with a glass top, because what I do not like is scratches and smudges. So we have a glass top. And then again, taking this up, adding height, with this incredible lamp. So let me show you one of the 4 bedrooms that we have downstairs. And to carry on with the color, of course, I found these at a local wonderful boutique right at home. Every single palette is a different graphic, but there are, as you see, 9 of these. So we just created this, I almost call it like a puzzle here to create what works together. But I love this, which leads me into this bedroom. All of the 4 bedrooms, when we purchased this home, were alike. They were a blank palette, which was amazing for us. This room I call the Amazon room, and I just love it. Each room has its own character and its own personality. This one being the Amazon, because we brought in greens and red and different colors throughout this particular room. I love this. This is a high texture. To visually, if you feel the linens, you don't feel the texture, but you definitely see kind of an animal print here. The lamps I love because they mimic a bamboo, which I added bamboo as an arrangement over in the opposite corner. Matching, these are from Pettigrew, and the matching side tables, beautiful high gloss on the sides here, which mimics the queen beds in every room except for the last one, which I'll show you. And then we go into this bathroom. All of the bathrooms is interesting. They did not have doors, and my sister actually reminded me of that when we purchased the house. So we just added the barn doors, which were worried me because I love the contemporary and modern feel, but we just had to keep that with the handles and keep it throughout the home. We added the California closets. There were only elfa shelves here, so high gloss on this cabinetry here. Every single bathroom has a different set of hardware and different lighting. So we gave each room a bit of their own character, and we've named every single room in the house. We kept the tile, we kept the showers. People ask me what's next. I always want to change. I'm always evolving with this home, but so far, I love it. So how we determined this was the home for us, once we got inside, we knew it was the one. When we were searching, it was really difficult in the Colonial TCU area, and TCU is our alma mater. Our daughter was at TCU at the time. We all went to TCU. So when we found the property, we knew that we wanted to be here. It was just creating the home that we wanted. It was creating the design on the inside, and from looking at different points of the home, it was a little difficult because the lighting was very basic, but on the other hand, that is an opportunity. The opportunity to add the lighting that you actually want. So when you're designing a home, you don't have to take out a lot of things, you can actually put in a lot of things. So being in the TCU area and in Fort Worth, and we just knew that this was the place for us. Next, I'm going to take you to our home gym. We spend so much time here, so follow me. So welcome to our gym. This is where we spend so much of our time. We really do. My husband and I are fitness enthusiasts. We love fitness. And in this gym, we brought a lot of nostalgia because we're both alumni of Texas Christian University. And across probably 1.5 of walls, we have our fight song, which we start at one end and go around. And then our beloved Horn Frog at the very, very end. We have a combination of cardio, Pilates, which both my husband and I actually use, heavy weights for him, a bike, which is not always nice to us, to say the least, and then weights on the other side with the TCU. When I was in college and Greg was in college, this was the logo, and we love it. We love the nostalgia, and so happy to have a gym at home. Right off the gym, we have 2 additional rooms, guest rooms, followed by art. Again, a lot of color. But this particular room, we decided to do twin beds. And we did this for our grandchildren, for friends that are coming over when we just needed more space. We had custom headboards made, did a very muted kind of a dove gray. And again, color. You're seeing the theme here with our home. These paintings, you know, I couldn't even remember where I found this painting, but I took a watercolor and just framed this with acrylic. We've done this quite a bit in the house, and I just love how it just finishes off the art just a little bit. Laura Lee Clark, we went over and found this beautiful color, added accents and pillows, and I can't love it enough. Over here, this chair is amazing. This chair I found in Dallas. I was like, okay, this is a great piece of art, lacquered with black. And I saw the price, the original price, and I was like, no, it was around $10,000 to $15,000, which is not in my budget. But there was a scratch on it. It's by Costello Designs, and a tiny little scratch, and they had marked it down significantly. So I brought this home, and I just thought it was great, especially with these paintings that we brought from my daughter's room in one of our homes that we've had. We just fell in love with these prints and framed these with a high texture on the frames here, but that just works so well with this particular chair that's kind of odd in this room, but it works so incredibly well. Again, the bathrooms, I did the same thing with California closets, high shine on the gloss here, and they're all the same except for the fixtures as well as the hardware, and just add a little bit more color. We collect when we travel, so many of these items are collections, and we just think it's beautiful. It's very homey and makes you feel good. So something that we left in the house was this glass railing. I was on the fence about it. It's very, very fragile looking, but it's actually not. We decided to keep this. We love the look with the very, very light wood. What we did do is we added from the rug company this Adam Hunter rug that goes all the way up. And boy, for me to select that was quite the task, but we chose that because it works so well going upstairs. Speaking of upstairs, why don't you follow me on up? So welcome to our great room. One of my very favorite rooms in the home. When we purchased this home, or before we did, when we were looking at the home, I came in with my fabulous friend, Pam Flowers Design, beautiful interior designer and friend, and we looked at this home, and blue's not my thing. It is just not my thing, but it's becoming my thing. So if you look at the hand-painted Portugal tiles, they are absolutely stunning. But my heart was not in the tile. But friends, and actually where the tiles were sourced, they said, whatever you do, Pam, do not let her get rid of these tiles. I don't even see these tiles when I walk in now. They just become the room and the space. This piece is from Baker Furniture, high gloss again. This serves as, if you follow me along on my website, you'll find my gift closet. This is packed with gifts that I cherish and wrapping paper, and we just house so much on this. A chef by trade, what I loved about this mirror, it reminds me of my peach galette, which I make and is on my blog, but I love the edges and I love that it just looks like beautiful, beautiful pastry. We've broken this up, especially for entertaining and for relaxation. We've broken this up into 3 separate vignettes, and I'll show you over here. We call this Tiffy's Corner, that's my nickname. Found this rug with pops of pink in it. Every time I select a rug, I'm so concerned about decorating around it, but I've learned to select the rug first. Fell in love with this furniture. A dear friend of ours makes furniture and does upholstery. Looks great against the blue tile. Christina Phillips is a friend of mine and neighbor, and she had Park and 8th, which is a beautiful gallery here in Fort Worth. She is still an interior designer, and we found this beautiful painting. When I look at this painting, you can see actually the etching. You still see the marks with the pencil, the faceless woman, like it's almost not finished. But I find myself in this painting quite often. I love the beautiful dress and the colors, and it bounces off of all of these pieces of art in the home. We also decorate with pillows. Pillows are such a great way to add a pop of color and texture, especially to this corner. I come here often with my coffee or a cocktail and just relax. Again, you remember downstairs we had the acrylic table. So this is actually glass on a stand with gold. I love to mix metals, and this is a matte finish, almost like a bronze, and then a high gloss with the lamp. And I love these lamps that are crystal clear, either acrylic or glass. This great room, a lot of white. People are afraid of white, but when you're using performance fabrics that we have here and over here and over here, you will find that that is your friend. You can just basically wipe up red wine, even though I'm still a little scared. This rug is a piece of art. I found it, my friend Mitch at the rug company in Dallas. I saw it, look at the feathers of the crane, the beautiful, beautiful cherry blossoms in the bottom. The interpretation of art is in the eye of the beholder. I'm not sure what you see. I see a cross. My husband sees a boat. Some people see a palette of color. We kept the fireplace as it was. We didn't paint it black. I had a lot of people tell me to paint it black. But look at this. I love this glass fire screen. It is very functional. We don't have small children in the home, so I'm not worried about this. It's really held down with beautiful blocks of gold, and it just looks very unique. I thought about at one time painting this white, but I just love how it kind of goes away. We have bookend this entire mantle with banana leaf trees, banana trees. They're not real because I cannot grow anything. I can't keep anything alive as far as plants. But these are so real looking, and they just bookend this beautiful, beautiful mantle and piece of art. So over here is this little vignette that we created. I love the color pink. Not afraid of color, as I've said so many times, but I believe this furniture was used. It's got that Chippendale look, a little lattice work on the back with a kind of a bronze look. We had all of this recovered. I'm not afraid to have my dog, which you will meet her eventually, on pieces of furniture. I had a dog later in life, but she loves this area and it just doesn't bother me. This look of this fabulous, the texture of this little side table has a mimicking of Valentino rock studs. So I was immediately, when you see my closet, immediately drawn to this with the bubbles here in the color, which, if you go right up here, Leslie Barron is an incredible artist out of Tennessee. I call this Rosie Faye. And I get a little emotional because this reminds me of my mother. Looks like my mother, the eyes follow me. If you notice, there's butterflies, and I adore butterflies. You'll see them throughout my home. But there's actual real pieces of pearls and feathers in this painting with sequins that's layered and layered, and you see the roses on top of her head and then the beautiful palm fronds. She is the star of this room. These are actual structural elements, and the previous owners really wanted to take these. These are from a church in Italy. So when I talk about global in this home, I mentioned that the tile is from Portugal. This is from Italy. We have African limba wood in a certain section of the home. So we love that global feel and pulling all these things together to make this architecturally mindful of our travels and in our world. So welcome to our study, where there's elements in here that are so incredibly global. The mirrors that you see throughout this house are in this room, which makes for a larger room. We have a lot of natural light in here. It was a little darker, so we had to bring in more color, of course. Let me show you over here, Christopher Guy, which you saw on the sofa downstairs. I thought this looked like a piece of jewelry, this beautiful, beautiful mirror in a high gloss emerald green is just perfect, and to me it's such a great focal point for this room. We used this piece in a prior home for a bar cart. So we had this in a different area. We needed to save space, and we didn't have the bar cart that we have now. But this is perfect to house books and memorabilia and photographs. And takes me over to these beautiful chairs that, again, inspiration is global. And I love this particular side table. Look at the chains. And if you're seeing a trend here with a lot of jewelry, that I love pieces of jewelry, but I just thought this was so interesting. It was actually one of the first pieces that I selected along with the mirror. So in home had this original wood. And again, I thought it was a little dark. I love it now. It's African limba wood, hence the global feel in this home. It is beautiful, the natural grain that's in this. And we have added this, which looks like bronzed horns. This is, again, a Waterford piece. I just adore this. It just, again, mimics jewelry, which I love. And we had here, I actually redid this recently when I knew you were coming over. We had a suede, and it just looked like a dark hole, so we just added new wallpaper, and it's from LET of France. And I love how the light bounces off and you still have the texture of this. Great glass pieces, Waterford crystal, collectibles, and books throughout this. Again, the global feel. Interesting objects throughout the house, shelves, and it's just amazing. Notice at the top here, this is an air vent that the person that did the wallpapering just covered, and it looks amazing. So impressed with this. The desk is of comfort. My husband loves to watch the game in here. Again, I was struggling with the colors being a little bit dark, so we added this pop of color on the rug. The rug, again, is from the rug company, and look at this great leopard on the bottom. And I just love the inspiration, again, carrying the feel throughout the house with the emerald green in here that mimics and works so well with the mirror. But this is, again, rug company, and Diane Furstenberg is the beautiful designer. You know her through fashion as well. We have had this sofa for so long. So many people have slept on this sofa. We have had it recovered. I feel like I'll never get rid of this sofa because it just is so functional. It's so comfortable and so homey. We added the colors recently with the beautiful, beautiful high pops of pink. And again, it looks great against the African limba wood. This chair we just got here recently. It is so comfortable. It's actually electric, and this is where many naps are taken in this portion of our home. So now let me take you to where we spend a lot of our time. I have a little secret passageway, so here we go. So I had a secret pathway to our primary bedroom, which is a haven of comfort and warmth for us. We have used so much light in here to bounce with the color and the beautiful linens that I'll show you, but there was something missing. Every Christmas, we would have a Christmas tree here, and once the Christmas tree was gone, I was very, very sad. So we added this incredible olive tree, and I just love the feel of this. Through here, we brought this piece in, have an antique mirror that, again, we are contemporary and modern, but I just think it works well, especially with the high gloss of this chest of drawers. Over here, this rug that you see on the floor, we actually purchased this when we were first married. Goodness, it's been, oh gosh, 15 years ago. And we used it in Austin at our home, and we had it in storage, and I thought, my goodness, this is something that we can bring in here because the palette is neutral, and we can bring in the bed and the linens and these side tables. We had one side table, and I was determined to find the mate. And we did find this. We found this over at a showroom in Dallas. Pam Flowers worked tirelessly to find this, but look at the texture of this, beautiful with the gray, a little bit of bronze here, and I love how we have just a little tray put in here. And the lampshades are just gorgeous. They are high shine. I love that the drum of the shade is metal, and it's just so functional and plays off so well in this house. So I have to tell you the story of this bed. My husband is more of a traditional guy, and when we found this bed years and years ago, I fell in love with it. The mirrored smoked glass throughout the bed, not traditional at all, and then I remember my husband coming over to look at it, and he said, "Oh, that's great, so where's the one that you selected?" So that was, he and I have very different opinions, but he loves this house. The linens are a beautiful white with an ecru, just texture on the edges, a little quilted. I just bring this back. I love a fresh made bed every single day. I wanted a lot of color again, but I was calming it down in here because I do want a peaceful type bedroom. We brought this piece in as well, so you can certainly mix and match. We pulled this in, and here's the color. Here it comes with the purple amethyst quartz, and we've just added some Christmas balls. Actually, I kept them out after Christmas, and with just little twinkle or fairy lights, and just, you know, just an added interest. And you can see how the natural lighting comes through and just bounces off of so much. The lighting above is from an antique store in Dallas, and the black was threw me off a little bit, but it just adds such an accent to this room. Again, I've talked about this multiple times throughout this home, of the jewelry, of the accessories that just are bold and beautiful with the beautiful crystal lights. So again, the color we're adding with the art. So we removed a piece and moved it to the kitchen. And this beautiful piece of art, we found it right at home here in Fort Worth, and it's a massive piece, and it works beautifully in here. All of the colors, and purple is just a beautiful color. We did reinstall a fireplace. This is an electric fireplace. It's beautiful. It does heat up quite a bit. We rarely turn this on in Texas, but I love a fireplace. But we needed a larger fireplace, and the fireplace that was in here was not working. So we did have to start over there. But we made it a larger frame on the outside that works so well with this piece of art. So from the primary bedroom, we have this very open concept of our bath areas. We have his and hers. When we purchased the home, I had a very difficult time because it's so open, and I'll show you this, which meant order and neat. And neatness is so important to me. So if the clothes are showing, I obviously needed order and neatness. This is actually hid. So this was option. It was certainly an option to have this, but this is hiding my clothing and Greg's shoes, but closing this. But that's a great idea in here. This African limba wood is beautiful. All of the curves, just to me, mimics romance and flow, and just it's almost a sexy feel. So Greg has his side, and I have my side. And again, this was very difficult for me to wrap my arms around this open concept because closets are meant to be closed. This is not closed. This is so open. All of my clothing, I change this out twice a year for fall and winter and spring, summer. The key points was making sure that the hangers all matched, that your colors were coordinated. You have short to long. So that was a difficult process for me. So over here, I just keep my costume jewelry out, very, very deep drawers. We kept the handles on here and then brought in some lighting. It's very, very brightly lit. We have a little bit of natural lighting, but not a huge amount. And again, open. We have really thought about remodeling this, but how do you do this? This wood is so precious, but it would take quite a bit, but I'm gonna always change something. On my side, I have this vanity area, and Greg has his, and that is perfect, absolutely perfect. A large bathtub is just such a serene portion, and just love this in this room. We added a beautiful piece of art with the light here, and the art behind the actual art of the light is Amy Young. High texture, multimedia. Again, we were talking earlier about the framing in the acrylic, and I just think it finishes this so beautifully. Again, the deep bathtub is it's just such a serene, beautiful feeling in here. So let me show you another part of my house that I absolutely love, and this is my closet. If you follow me on Instagram and on my social media and my blog, you will see my closet multiple times because fashion is one of our pillars. But we switch this out twice a year. Underneath here, I have my shoes, sneakers that I wear every day, my flip-flops, and then I just sprinkle throughout here bags and shoes that I love, some shoes that don't love me so much that I have in my home, but all of these things with bags that are collectibles that have been given to me in my collection, I just love. I like to add acrylic pieces here to give height and interest, as well as the books. I mean, books are great in a closet. So then you come up here, we have a different look and feel. And you know, it was, how do I make this closet and my display not look like you're shopping at a department store? But I love having all this. So when I talked to you about the open concept, it was tough. It was tough. But now I absolutely love it. So this is where I put my makeup on, do my skincare every day. This is actually a desk, but it houses all of my favorite products. I keep these on display, especially the lips. I usually have more mirrors or lighting here just because we do a lot of filming here for my Instagram and my blog. But I have some of my favorites here. I love the Chanel lip stain that I have on today with a gloss on the other end. It's just the perfect color for me. There's so many colors. And again, I link this often. Now this chair is key, y'all. This chair, I need something because if I have self-tanner on or hands are filled with makeup or dirty, putting foundation or sunscreen on, this is a performance faux leather. And I've had this for, oh my goodness, probably we've been here 6 years in this house, and it's perfect. I mean, that is so key when you have this and you have hairspray and products around. It is so great. We got this from Baker as well as this. This has some love on it because there's a lot of activity that happens here with filming. But again, just great when it's moving throughout this room with the feel of the room. So my podcast is called My So-Called Fabulous, and in my mid-50s I decided to switch gears, especially when the pandemic hit and I could not do television radio any longer and do live performances, to shift and bring the blog to life with the podcast, and that's what we've done. And what we do is try to solve a problem and to help people. Do we have fun and laugh? We do, but we also cry as well, but we're always trying to solve a problem. We're almost in our 5th year, and we just keep going. People ask me often at my age, why are you doing this? Because you know what, in my opinion, you need to keep your brain moving and keep your brain alive. And I have the most fabulous men and women that work with me every single day, and I'm proud of this brand that we've created. So welcome to our outdoor living space, our loggia. We were in Italy several years ago, and I noticed there were so many loggia spaces. The word loggia is basically an outdoor covered living space, and we needed that. When we were remodeling, this was actually a room that was enclosed, and we didn't need that. We just wanted some outdoor space because we don't have a backyard. So this, I went with the colors of nature. You'll see these steel doors. Again, if you remember, this was an enclosed room, but we added the steel doors and the steel windows. It mimics church. We love that so much. See this in so many beautiful churches, especially in Spain and Italy. And we've added a lot of faux plants. Remember, I cannot keep plants alive, so we have to have faux plants. So this fiddle leaf fig surrounds, and it doesn't offer shade because we don't need it, but this is faux. This furniture just withstands the rain, the sun, especially here in Texas. If you notice, we had along the railing, and especially outside surrounding the entire home, we had this beautiful, beautiful work with the iron, which I just love so incredibly much, with the circles and the lines. It's so beautiful. We had this in a previous home and brought it over. High top table, bistro table. We love to sit out here and enjoy cocktails or to root on our corn fogs. We just love the loggia. It's nice and breezy this time of year, but it does get hot. So our view off our loggia, where the living spaces is, we have the view of Colonial Country Club. We are right between hole number 1 and 2, and the Charles Schwab Challenge is held here every May. And this particular time of year, the golf course is beautiful, lush, and green. We just had a huge remodel, but it is absolutely beautiful. You can see the golfers across the street. And you know what? On our balcony downstairs, our balcony up here, the loggia, and our fountain, we find golf balls quite often. So I'm not sure who's hitting those golf balls, but so come on in, everybody. Let's look at the rest of the house. Welcome to our dining room. This room was a blank slate again. There's a lot of mirrors in here, which lends itself to a larger room. But we started with this wallpaper. This wallpaper is from Maya Romanoff. That's the artist, and there's almost, you can see, it's a high texture. Love this color. Just a blank palette. However, this, you see, it mimics grids, and this was the inspiration for the drapery, which is across the room, which I'll show you in that section. But this color was great for this painting, which we brought from another home, which is absolutely perfect for this room. It was dark and it pops off of the wallpaper. This is flanked by 2 sconces. This is Waterford crystal. This fringe on the bottom I just fell in love with because it would look represented high fashion, which I love fashion with the crystals and here, but it was just simple enough with the silver sconce that just lends itself for exactly what I needed in here. Moving on to this portion, which this is a table that we brought again from another home, but we did recover the chairs. I have a lot of texture in these chairs and then a kind of a hidden design here that really does pop with the actual wallpaper as well as the drapery that you see. We added recently the rug. The rug, again, a piece of art. I'm crazy about rugs. This is Martin Brudinsky from the Rudd Gallery, just a beautiful artist, gold with an animal print just kind of just laced in the border with a cream center. I needed a little more color in here because you remember I'm the color girl. I added these beautiful pillows. Are they functional? Not always. I love to have a good pillow, but I love how they pop, the color pops off of the white chairs. This is a performance fabric, so I'm not afraid. I set the table 2 ends with, again, more color. This was my mother's china. It's Lenox and just a band of gold with a beautiful charger plate. And then high texture. This, again, texture. This is an outdoor placemat. And my mom's flatware that I've paired with our Ralph Lauren flatware. And you see these baccarat butterflies throughout our home with Vietri to serve. You can do a dessert in here or a beautiful cocktail, and y'all have to see these. I love just at each place setting putting something a little bit special. So the colors that we pulled from the upholstery, we just added with a beautiful flower of the season, beautiful gold, and the high shine of this table, which takes me to a little more shine. When Pam, our interior designer, found these, she knew that I would love these pears. They have a ceramic leaf, and each one is, I believe, 24 karat gold. So I'm very, very careful about when I place these. So just placing these beautiful pears in this oversized bowl, that just is an art piece, again, when it just goes right up to the chains of our chandelier that lends itself for beautiful light with crystals that mimic the crystals on the Waterford sconces on the other side. So in this side, I don't want to interrupt, but I want to introduce you to my fur baby. This is my first pet that I've ever had, and I just love her. Can you say hello? Say hi. This is Lala, and this is where she overlooks the house. This is her bed. We love this bed, and she loves it too. She's a little camera shy today. I'm not really sure why, but she guards our home and barks at every leaf and golfer that goes by. And of course, what is a dining room without a bar? This bar houses some of our favorites with our napkins, our cocktail napkins that we have monogrammed, and just collectibles from throughout the years. Champagne bucket. I love this because it moves, and it will move around the house and actually out on the loggia when we're entertaining outside. Good bottle of wine, bottle of champagne, and you have the perfect space to entertain in this room. I have a favorite room in this home. I really do. And I'm a chef by trade and went to culinary school after TCU. And so the kitchen is my haven. We work out of the kitchen. We create my so-called fabulous out of the kitchen. It is our family room. You know, when you entertain and you have large spaces, but everyone gravitates to the kitchen, and I love that. It makes me feel really good about what we've created in there. But when I walk up the stairs in my home and I see the color and the view, it just makes me happy. And my daughter will say every time I walk up in here, I say, I love my home so much. It makes me happy, it makes me feel good, and I hope it makes you feel good too. So one of my very favorite rooms in the home is the kitchen and living area. And so let me show you around. So in the kitchen and living area, this was actually a piece that I debated on not bringing in the home, but it works perfectly because it's black, and we had the back piece, we just added a little bit of color that reflects the light, so it's not just a dark hole, and actually accent all of our collectibles in here, our memorabilia, our photos, and I love it. This is perfect. But this I love because it mimics the steel windows and doors throughout the home. This living space, you know, it was, do we put a dining table in here, or do we just create a home that we can just live in here, and this is what we do. We watch television on this very large Samsung television. I am crazy about this. I can change the art daily. There's so many pieces of art in here, and I've changed this 3 or 4 times this week, but I love it. But we recently added the frame, and let me show you what's interesting about this. This frame just is magnetic, so you can change the frame. I love this gold, but you can make it wood or anything you want. This piece was in here. We kept it for storage. I have to show you one of my sweet friends, Ginger Ray Walker. She is in Fort Worth, and all of these pieces are in the home. This is just her beautiful colors. I asked for black with a little bit of teal, and she did this for us, and we just have numerous pieces throughout this, so I just thought that was a neat place, and especially just such a beautiful section of the house, instead of putting of the kitchen, instead of putting books. Now the bottom here, we've actually changed this and upgraded this room. This is another rug company. This is Alexander McQueen, and I have to say, Madonna has this rug, and yeah, she does. And I saw her on it, and I went, you know what, I'm sold. But the bottom, you see a oversized butterfly. The colors are beautiful. It is a custom rug, and I just think it is the perfect rug for this room. We needed a coffee table that was clear glass, that we could see the piece of art on the floor. The clear glass 2-level table that's in between these chairs. These chairs we actually had. They're super comfortable, very cushioned, beautiful citrus yellow that we decided to add, and they swivel to watch the television, of course. Interesting light. When I saw this, I didn't even know it was a light, but it is a light, and we found this over at a showroom in Dallas at Pettigrew, one of my very favorites, and an LED light that just serves as an architectural piece in this particular room. I had this sofa recovered. It was the perfect size, but it reminds me of a Chanel tweed suit. And we just added a bit of color to just kind of bring in the rug and all of the colors in this room. On this side of the room, we have, again, mimicking chests that we use to store napkins and placemats and all of the essentials that we need to entertain, greeting cards. This piece of art, I really enjoy this because all of the color that pops in here. Orange, a citron green, there's teals and charcoal. I just loved because we can bring in florals with this beautiful orange, or I can do a hot pink. These lamps we've had, but again, this is a piece that is so perfect because you need that function along with the elements of design. So I thought this was perfect, and we kept it. Do I want to paint this? My next project, I really want this a high shine lacquered white, because I love white, because then we can add the pops of color. So I'm a chef. I went to TCU undergraduate. Food science and nutrition was my thing. That was my degree, and I went to culinary school at Johnson & Wales. So hence food, entertaining. I mentioned earlier that people just migrate to the kitchen. That is where everything is, conversations are made, problems are solved in this kitchen, and a very oversized bar. This is Carrara marble. For me, I did not like the character of marble. I needed this high gloss, and I just think it was perfect for us. We have the apron sink here that's just a spillover, a beautiful white, just again keeping that flat neutral look in here. We had open cabinets, and I decided that I couldn't do that. So we had those and we covered the cabinets. We have this with a beautiful white. I have to show you over here our refrigerator. I'll back you up and take you back over here. We have two refrigerators, which I kind of thought was absurd, but we have one that's a Sub-Zero, that's a beverage refrigerator, and I love it because we can house lots of beverages and it just serves as spillover with groceries. As a trained chef, it was really important to me to have stovetop and range that work very, very well. This was a collaboration with my brand, with Heston. Heston is at the French Laundry. Thomas Keller is the chef, and he has the commercial grade. This is the first rollout of their residential grade of ranges. Has the grill in the middle. It is amazing. Now, I would not choose to have two separate ranges, but that's what the previous owner had, so I just went with it because to recreate these cabinets, it was just too much. So I am obsessed with this so much, just absolutely fabulous. Outside, I love to grill. At one point in my life, I did call myself a grilling master, so we had to have a grill, but with the outside that I've told you before, that's just limited space on the outdoors, we created this. This entire back space, and I'll show you here in a minute what this was, but we had to create storage because the previous owners used drawers, the very deep drawers, for their pantry. So we decided to really convert a lot of this house and this space into storage. Let me show you the grill. Come on out. This is a Lynx grill. It is fabulous. It's my second one. I just love this grill. It's just high performance, high heat. This is a great vent hood, great lighting, but then we went with the pattern on the back, the Carrara marble on the back, just to give a little more texture. And I love these little birds. I have to say my husband will come out and grill and he'll just head from time to time, but I love these sweet little birds. We picked these up over in Dallas as well at the showroom, and I just love the little sweet little birds. Again, bringing the outside inside and the inside outside with the grill area. So let me show you my storage. So this is our butler's pantry, which we use so much. Storage. I talked to you earlier about the grill forward, and I'll take you to the powder bath in a few minutes, but this entire area was just one long hall. And there was an office and two washers and two dryers. So this is what we did with this. We needed space for storage. My mother left me most of her china and crystal, and what I fell in love with was this Hermes wallpaper. The focal point for me of this room, it's so beautiful. It's three-dimensional. It looks like texture, but it's not. I will never change this wallpaper, but we can't find any longer because I wish we would have gone all the way to the top. Shelving was put in. The microwave is here. I love this because the microwave is hidden. I just don't like a microwave out on the countertop. Every Sunday morning on Instagram, I feature my coffee bar, and I love the DeLonghi. I have it in multiple homes, and we love these cups, and I link this so much, especially on Sundays if you follow along. So we have different types of sweeteners and teas. I love tea. I make tea every single day. Always have a basket of fresh fruits and vegetables. Over here, this is our little horn frog. This painting I found at Park and 8th years and years and years ago, which mimicked our frogs, which is our horn frog, with a cupcake. So I just thought that was absolutely fabulous for my brand and our family. What does home mean to me? Home is where you go. The home is where you end. The home is where you eat, you pray, and you love. and you welcome people into your home daily. It's a place of haven, it's a place of safety, and it's a place of, like I said, love. I feel like people need to be comfortable and safe in their home. And when someone walks in our home, I hope that they feel so welcome from the entry as they come in to the kitchen that you will cook with us and dine with us and all of the living spaces. And that's what's home to me.
On today's episode of Homeworthy, we're in Charlotte, North Carolina, visiting the home of interior designer Alexis Pauling. Alexis lives with her family in a gorgeous home with transitional touches and bright pops of color. Born and raised on the Upper East Side of New York City, Alexis developed a love for beautiful architecture and design from a young age. Her aesthetic is founded on classic design principles, blending color, texture, and pattern to create smart and energetic living spaces. Enjoy!
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
Hello, Homeworthy. I'm Alexis. Welcome to my home in Charlotte, North Carolina. Come on in. Hello and welcome to my entryway. Here we are in the main vestibule, and I would call my style transitional here, really throughout the house, but you can see a good example of what the whole home offers. I love mixing styles. So to me, transitional means modern art, modern color, pops of color, happy color, mixed with vintage and antiques. We have a Louis XVI dresser here that's by Maison Jansen, and it's one of my most prized possessions. I love it. And then overhead, we have beautiful artwork by Marcy Cook, who's one of my favorite artists out of Texas. This is a commissioned piece, and she walks you through the whole process. I fully trusted her to do what she wanted. I just mentioned some favorite colors. She also used some, this is a collage, is the medium, some clipped butterflies that from a wallpaper that I have. It just really added a personal touch. I think that the art really exemplifies what's to come in the room. I have a ceiling that we painted high gloss. It's fine paints of Europe, and it just adds that nice quiet touch. It's still white, but it is a beautiful, elegant touch. I have another painting of Marcy Cook over here, and the colors really speak to me. It's more in a graffiti style, but mixing modern with antique and vintage gives friction to a design that make it interesting, chic, and timeless. So this mirror in my entry is probably a 7-foot custom mirror, and it really adds a pop and a wow when you walk into the entry. It's just fun and playful, which I love. The upper right quadrant, as you can see, is yellow, and it's a bit of an off color. I like when things don't match perfectly or where they come from nowhere. I don't really coordinate yellow throughout my house. It's just very fun and playful. The rest of the mirror, as you can see, is just antiqued, and it's simple, but it makes a big impact. So we moved into the original home that was here on this plot in 2010 when my oldest daughter was 6 months old. It was a gray-green ranch, 1951, and we lived in it for 10 years. It was very functional, especially when we had small children. But I always had thoughts of what the home could become, and of course, 10 years later, I learned exactly what we needed in a house. We're located across from a park, meaning that we have no neighbors across the street. It's really a one-of-a-kind property, and I don't think that I could have found a better location if I tried. So when we were interviewing builders, it was sort of a 50-50 if this was going to be a tear down or a renovation, but we learned that tear down was the way to go. Being that the home was a half a century, there were many issues that we had with the home already. So Mills Elog was our contractor, and we built new in 2019, and we moved in 2020. So we've been here for 4 years now, and it's everything that we need the home to be. It's really perfect for our family. Now I'd love to show you my pink den. Follow me. This is our pink den, and it's probably one of the most playful areas in the house. My inspiration for this is heavily impacted by chinoiserie everything. Starting with this amazing wood chest. It has a little bit of a story. It's the one antique piece in my home that has some personal family meaning. I grew up with this in New York City on East 72nd Street. This was my parents' sideboard in the living room. It was actually my great uncle and his wife were traveling in China in the 40s, and he had this made, he purchased it, and it was sent back to America, where it lived in his home in New York City until they moved to Florida and passed it on to my parents. I also love these two Gracie panels that are framed beautifully. They're vintage and they're pretty fantastic. It goes up to the 9-foot ceiling, and I think it's really impactful. I love the colors. So what I've done here is use the Philip Jeffries grass cloth, which is a very warm and, again, a bit of an off-color pink. And I've painted the crown and the trim a same matching pink. And I think that that really adds to the warmth and sophistication of the room. In addition to the custom trim, I have a matching Schumacher fabric on the drapery with Samuel & Sons trim, which is pretty fabulous. Everything's quiet and understated, but again, packs a punch. It's elegant but chic because of the trim color matching, windows included. Some other favorite pieces that I have here are the oversized gold mirror that's maybe 8 feet tall. And I like to buy many items at auction. Some of my best finds are from auction, including this marble pedestal that is from the 18th century. So I change it up. I display art, modern art, sometimes plants. But it's a fun room and it's elegant. So actually the intent of this room on the architectural plans when I designed this was for a formal dining room. But that's just not how we live as a family. Again, I have 2 young children. We have a large table that you'll see in the kitchen that serves as everything. It's our breakfast table, it's our art table, it's where we have dinner. I don't feel the need for a specifically, fancy dining room. So this became our pink den. It's just an extra sitting room. It's a great room to have a baby shower, which I hosted a few weeks ago. It's a great place. Actually, this is where I put right in front of this window where we set up the Christmas tree. So it's a really lovely sitting room, and I think I appreciate it more than having a dining table. My favorite lighting in the entire house, I would have to say, are these Kelly Wearstler sconces. These are huge chunks of white quartz, and they make me so happy. They are chunky, they are happy, they really make an impact. I also have this beautiful light chandelier from Circa. It's one of my favorites. It hits that fun balance between playful, classic, feminine, and girly. I want to show you something that's hiding out a little bit. It's a really fun architectural feature. I have pocket doors everywhere, and they really work well for a quiet, understated door close for when you might need privacy or quietness during a party. I'd love to show you my bedroom, but on the way we have this fun transition of the office. We actually walk through the office. We have a hidden paneled door. Here's our bookcase. It's painted in an amazing color of Pharaoh and Ball, but we started with a color and then we amended it slightly to make it brighter. This bookcase has a lot of my loved items that I've collected over the years. I'm interested in chinoiserie, shells, crystals, family photos, mementos, brass items, shell-encrusted anything. So this is a fun and really beloved showcase. I have these great library lights above with stars on the back plate. So something that ties in the color in this room, the amazing paint is saturated. I also love this rug. It really highlights the color. It goes really beautifully with it, again, in an off sort of way. These chairs I picked up at my favorite local vintage store. It's called Slate Interiors, and it's vintage. These are worn and loved by somebody else, and they came to me with a perfect patina. The ceiling is another interesting feature. It's wallpapered. It's definitely a fifth dimension. It's a fifth wall. It's Holland and Sherry, and here's a really fun visual comfort chandelier as well. Now I'll take you into the bedroom. Follow me. Welcome to our primary bedroom, located on the first floor. This is a light and bright space. I like to keep primary bedrooms a bit on the feminine side. I actually chose a color other than pure white for the walls, just because I want it subdued, I want an oasis, and I want it to be relaxing. I love pink, I love blue, I love feminine, and I actually own 3 dogs, and this is specifically for them. It is a pleather bench so that they can hop on up with ease. And also this rug is a great rug of hiding a myriad of sins. Typically, I love to use a chandelier in a bedroom, but usually there's one partner in a marriage that requires a fan, so we have a fan. I kept the furniture light and bright. They actually have acrylic base, which just adds to the feeling of lightness. I have this beautiful chaise that I sit and have a cup of coffee. I go on my phone in the morning and read newspapers. Here's a great little perch for coffee, and I have a view of the park across the street. So one of my favorite possessions in this room is my children's silhouettes. We have Finley on the bottom, we have Logan on top, and I worked with a lady and I found exactly the Pantone color that I wanted to use. It was a paint chip that I had her print out the silhouettes. I love them, I think they're fun, in addition to the rippled frame. A feature that I love to have over beds, often I find, is the sunburst. I love everything that a sunburst stands for. I like the energy, I like the classicism of it, and I love that just burst of gold and reflection. I think it adds to a lot above the bed, which is overall a very quiet room. Another feature that is a work in progress is my pagoda cabinet, another purchase from Slate Interiors. And I had my friend Holly of Renew Home Charlotte spray it in the perfect white, and I got wallpaper for the back panel, and I also had it electrified. It's not styled, it's not as I want it yet, but it's a work in progress, and I think it's going to be a beautiful addition. Connected to the primary bedroom through this vestibule is the primary bathroom. I actually chose quartz for the countertops just to be safe, but the floor and the shower are marble. It is clean and bright and white and functional. I provided myself with a little vanity, which I use daily. I have a lovely vignette of collected and gifted silver from my mother and a picture of my girls. I've simply tied in a very simple hydrangea color towels and accents, Wedgwood vase, and that's really the only source of color along with this vintage piece of art. Now I'd love to show you the powder room that's right off of the primary bedroom. It's accessible to the main area of the home. So this powder room is just fun. It's a little jewel box and it makes me really happy. The wallpaper is called Queen's Flight, carried by Schumacher, and it actually was designed by Barry Benson of Peg Norris. It's just fun. It's wallpaper of birds and butterflies. So this is a really fun cabinet. It's just a floating cabinet, holds everything and more that we could need for a small powder. This is Modern Matter hardware that just is the cherry on top. I love Modern Matter. Again, a bit of a chinoiserie slant here with the mirror, the lucite and gold mirror. And then these sconces are pretty sensational. I love them. I love the light and the directional light that they give the wallpaper. It sort of casts a highlight on the paper. Directly next door to the powder is the bar area. So this is a really fun, open and inviting bar area. I sort of want guests, I love guests to help themselves. It is painted a really magnificent, high gloss, fine paints of Europe, teal color. So it's fun with a pop of crystals on the poles. These actually are from Modern Matter as well. Showcase my glasses, and artwork behind is always a fun way to perk up a space. And again, with a chinoiserie ginger jar. These are also very fun lights by Visual Comfort as well. And I just love the play of colors. All of these off colors really work for me. I love to host parties. I love to have people over in a very casual, informal, and fun way. People come over often, and it's lovely to be able to make a drink, and then we come right on into the dining room. This is where we host parties, and this again is our one and only table that I was speaking of. I chose, for a few reasons, Lucite chairs. They are easy, they are wipeable. It's something you don't need to worry about. I think people need to think about that when they have children, and just practicality of life. Either you care and you love patina and stains, or you don't. I apparently do not. So I think that this actually, they add a really nice touch, a light touch to the area. This table seats 10 or 12, and we host all holidays, parties. Just had a baby shower here last weekend, and it's a really fun, relaxed place to be. I think maybe because it's not a formal dining room. This actually was not the original light that I placed in our home. This is a Visual Comfort Talia chandelier in a linear form. It comes in a few different types. And I love how it's airy, it's playful, it's energetic, and it looks beautiful lit from inside and outside. I have my tablescape set very simply and elegantly. I love chinaware and dinner plates. I have bought quite a few of them on auction. Live Auctioneers is one of my favorite resources, as well as Cherish. But this Rose Famille plate, coupled with the Janori china, is really fun. It's a nice summer tablescape. And then some silver items that my mom has gifted me. I have a fun salt cellar with seahorses. You can either fill or not. And these actually are crystal champagne flutes from Etsy that I found on Etsy that are mid-century. Again, we have a couple baby ginger jars. I change up what's actually placed on the tablescape often, of course. I don't repeat. I have many table cloths. And one of my favorite things to do is just have it filled with candles. It really adds to the element. My kitchen is open to the dining area. And it's really just open, simple, white, inviting. I have these great oversized fixtures. I tend to like lighting to be larger than smaller. It just makes more of an impact. These happen to be from Hudson Valley. One of my favorite ceramicists. This bowl and the organicness. Obviously, I don't have artichokes all the time, but I do put fruit and lemons and plants and flowers in there. That makes me very happy. So for the countertops, I selected quartz. I actually added a waterfall quartz element, as well as I continued it up the backsplash in the back, just for a continuous, quiet, but again, impactful moment. This was a custom hood. It is zinc and brass. And I actually chose to have chrome in the kitchen. A lot of clients often select gold, 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 everything from hardware to lighting, but I actually like to mix it. I find it's a little bit more interesting. Again, I love to cook. I chose a great range. My children are in here all the time. This is our main location. This island is really where you can find us a lot. The girls do homework, they do art here. We obviously have our meals here. And it's a really relaxed kitchen that I think is comfortable, but it's put together. It's a really relaxed kitchen that I wanted to be inviting and just easy to be in. It's an easy place. It's open to the dining room, and it's a very comfortable place to be. We're here quite a lot. Welcome to my living room. Here we are. It's one of the few rooms that I painted in a different color. It's actually gray owl. It's very soft and relaxed. I have a set of very oversized sofas here by row, and I want this room to be very casual. It is not a formal room. I want people to be able to come, kick up your feet onto the sofa, wrap yourself in a blanket. We have a fireplace that we use all the time. It just sort of adds to that cozy ambiance. Apparently I have a very happy bird of paradise in this window. As you can see, he's just about to pop all of these leaves. He makes me very happy. Plants, I think, are a wonderful addition. Of course, flowers are as well, but plants are really just a natural and organic element that add to the home and the ambience. I have a very slim console here with a great wood grain, and I change up my display often. I love my Wedgwood and I love my crystals. I have a double layer glass coffee table, and I just display and use, I actually flip through my design books often, and I just collect a few little crystals down below. Two of my favorite elements in the room is this large painting. It's oil on canvas by Kelly Pelfrey. She's really amazing. I love the colors and the energy and the whole vibe in the painting. Sort of set the tone for the room. Another element that I have is this coffered ceiling. I thought that that added quite a bit architecturally to the room. It added to the coziness and the overall feel. Another fun element in the room is this Corbett lighting chandelier. It is pressed glass, and the movement created by the pressed glass really gives an organic feeling to the whole room. So I love to have a natural element in all of my rooms. I fell in love with this quirky and huge orchid. I've never seen anything like it. His root systems grow up. It just made me happy, so I purchased it. And then over here I have a little area, again with more shells and a beautiful antique brass little tray, and one of my favorite lamps by Kelly Wearstler. And now I'll show you my locker area right off of the garage. So I've created this locker area with ample storage. All four of us, including my husband and I, have an area to just put our bags, backpacks, dog leashes, etc. I have this fun Worlds Away chest with lucite pulls. I added a glass top actually for protection because kids throw their water bottles and anything else that they might have. This is a visual comfort, small little petite metal shade lamp that I like a lot. And I have some vintage brass torchieres, I think they're called. I think function is paramount when designing for clients. Reality is reality, and they have children, they have messes. Everyone needs somewhere to put things away. So I love closed doors. It really serves its function and purpose. And it looks good while it's doing all the work. And connected to the locker area is our laundry room. So obviously function is paramount, but I've tried to make it fun with palladian blue cabinetry. And I have hanging area. So we have 2 dog crates, even though we have 3 dogs. Truly, they're not often used. I thought that they would be, but of course our dogs want to be with us and we want to be with them. We have a little fig tree that's never produced fruit for me, but it's also very happy in this sunny oval window. I have this great Ushak rug that just adds a pop of color, and it goes beautifully with the palladian blue. I added brass pulls in here. I think it just highlights and ties in nicely to the glass chandelier fixture. Home is your sanctuary. It is your safe place and haven for your family. Home is a reflection of your personality. As soon as one hits the front door, I hope that someone is conveyed my personality and my thoughts and my feelings, and maybe even my viewpoint. Well, Homeworthy, thank you for stopping by and taking a tour with me. I hope you enjoyed yourself. See you next time.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.